Thank you. I now put the question on this motion for the expulsion of some officers listed 1 to 11, beginning with Edon Nelson Wike, Ayo Payoshe, Senator Samuel Anyayu, Honorable Umar Bature, Adeyemi Ajibade, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Senator Mao, Honorable Austin Wachuku, Abraham Ama, George Dana, Chief Dan Obi, for the expulsion as per the motion raised ably by our elder statesman, citing our constitutional provisions as enumerated, that is Chief Olabode George, and ably seconded by my chairman, Mrs. Adamu Bunga. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
In our constitution.
Barrister, finally, Wike and so many other bad eggs in the PDP has been expelled from the party. I don't know. Do you think this is a new dawn for the PDP? Do you think what they have done so far is enough to revamp the party, to bring back the party, to bounce back the party to shape? Do you think it is significant? Is that significant enough to pose a challenge, a significant challenge to the incumbent? And that is one question. And the other one is, why? Anyway, we have talked about it. The second question, we've talked about it extensively. But I'll still repeat it. Why did it take them this long? Because I have so many people, including myself, have expected someone like Wike to have been expelled long before now. In fact, from even before the 2023 presidential election. And they even at least a worst case scenario probably after that. But here we are, over 2 years, going to 3 years into this menace called Wike in PDP. We still had him until yesterday in PDP. Barrister, what's your take on that? The questions I just asked.
Yes, we have expected some measure of stability in the PDP for quite some time. But it seems at every point that stability has eluded them. What happened yesterday seems on the surface to be a measure of stability, but from all intent and purposes, the crisis has been reignited. For a time, the crisis in the PDP appeared to have calmed down a little. And we thought the PDP was going to this convention as a family. But alas, it's not to be. I hope you are aware that the court has already restrained and stopped the convention holding. That itself is the seed of fresh and continuing crisis. Secondly, for reasons that were not yet clear to us, INEC boycotted the convention. Which is also a point of crisis, because they will now recognize the leaders and the actions that came out of that convention. Thirdly, the PDP came into this convention with a polarized and divisive house. Major characters were not carried along, apart from the Wike group. A very significant section of the party headed by Sule Lamido, former governor of Jigawa State and former foreign affairs minister, also boycotted the convention. At the end of the
and three
day,
other governors,
yes,
including
at the end
Fubara.
of the day, it appeared that it was only the faction of Bala Muhammad, governor of Bauchi State, that staged the convention. Even Sheyi Makinde himself was not prominent in that convention. The chairman of the planning committee of the convention itself abandoned the convention at the spot, at the convention ground.
Really?
Yes. So it appears that the crisis is nowhere from finished. What happened has set the stage for further crisis. We will be expecting in the coming weeks more court orders and more action from INEC. So we are far from a settled PDP that we can now begin to look at and say whether they can challenge the incumbent president or not. Because as far as things happen, they are yet to put their house in order. Don't forget, the faction of Bala Mohammed has been rooting for the suspension of Wike and Co., Ayo and others who worked against the party for a long time. But they were blocked by Wike's people. That's the national secretary of the party, Senator Anyanwu, the acting chairman, Damogun, and other people that Wike had carefully planted in the party. And they were the ones who had blocked a disciplinary action against Wike and Co. for a long time. So this group had to take action against them in order to pave the way for disciplinary action to be taken against Wike. Whether it will succeed, it is now left to be seen. Actions that we follow, already if you see comments that Wike made, he dismissed it with a wave of the hand. Other people that were mentioned have also dismissed it with a wave of the hand. That suggests to you that the crisis is far from over. And knowing Wike with his connection to the presidency, and knowing that they're working for the presidency, it is going to be difficult for the newly elected national chairman, Saminu Turaki, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and Co. to take over the secretariat of the party from Wike's appointee. We know how they used to use the police, used to use government agencies, security agencies, and INEC to foster and perpetuate crisis in the party. So if the people that are in the party cannot come together, incidentally, including the Wike who is working for the president, it's going to be difficult to manage the situation as I see it. But it happened yesterday. We will see going forward, like I said. I'm sure in the next 1 week or two, there will be more court action and court orders that will come forth on the PDP crisis.
It's diagnosing the whole situation, actually x-raying it entirely, just like you did right now, it actually portrays an image of irredeemability.
Exactly.
So it's obvious that PDP is far, even if it's going to be redeemed, not in the near future. Obviously not before 20, because litigation, we know what litigation, how much time the litigation takes in Nigeria or whatever. So we have less than 2 years to the general election, right? Yes, less than 2 years. So obviously, litigation, this litigation will be in court for way beyond.
We have just about 1 year and 2 months.
Oh wow! So it's that. So PDP.
The next election.
PDP is roasted already. So they are roasted.
And when you mentioned the other governors that did not attend, look, yes, at the end of the day, the only governor that PDP will have is Bala Mohammed. Because all the other ones,
Yeah, Kefas have decamped of Taraba.
Governor of Plateau State has been
Which one?
angling to go. Governor of Bayelsa State, who is the PDP governor that
Which
still
one?
wants to remain?
Hold on. What you said, Governor of the Plateau State? What happened to him?
The PDP, APC stakeholders met in Jos yesterday,
Okay.
and took a resolution to bar him from coming into APC because he has been jostling to come to APC. But the person that contested with him, Yewata, that is now the national chairman of APC, Joshua Darie, and others who are all in APC, met in Jos yesterday and passed a resolution that the party should not allow Mufwang to come into the party. He has all but become, he has said it publicly, and his associates have said it. So who else is left among the governors? Is at the end of the day, you only find Bala Muhammad, who is also positioning himself to contest for the presidency.
Honestly,
Makinde was positioning himself to contest for presidency in PDP.
I don't honestly. This is shameful. It is shameful to people like Atiku. The demise of PDP, or rather, the decapitation of PDP, is to blame, or is to be blamed on Atiku, because look, this party was so powerful, was unbeatable a few years ago. For God's sake, this party was, in fact, they were always boasting that PDP will remain in power for the next 50 years. I remember during Jonathan administration, where some of the ministers were boasting about that. That was due to the coherence and the strength of the entrenchment of the party then. But just who could have imagined that just few years after that, those boastings, that the PDP will end up in these trenches? Honestly, this is unbelievable. Honestly, because everything you have just painted is about PDP right now it looks so gloomy, so irredeemable, if it is something that is just, I don't think if it can ever recover. Anyway, never say never with Nigerian politics, because maybe sometimes in future, after Bola Tinubu is gone or whatever, some powerful politician will come and resuscitate and give life to it, give life back to it, and sort of, who knows. But at this moment, I don't see, based on what you have just said and so far, because you seem to know so much about all this or whatever. I don't know that as much as you know about the PDP. I only know based on what I read in the general news or whatever. So it obviously means that we don't have again, like though we have all agreed that Bola Tinubu is just going to have a walkover in the coming election. There's no any significant challenge to him, to his presidency right now. So, but it is sad.
One thing,
it is so sad, honestly. Atiku should bury his head. You can imagine the same Atiku now has eventually left. Hi, my God, what kind of country do we? The same Atiku now has technically abandoned the PDP to ADC, for God's sake, after wrecking the party.
It's not even that. What is very clear from the collapse of PDP is it has exposed Atiku as a political paperweight. He has no weight, for the fact that he is not able to attract one single PDP governor to his ADC. Not a single one from the PDP. He's not able to bring one to his new party. Shows that he is a paperweight. He's only using money. And there are situations that money cannot be used. Where money cannot be used, he's completely ineffective.
It's not
even the Adamawa state governor, where Atiku is,
honestly,
base, he has not been able to bring him to ADC. So where is his strength now?
No, the thing is, Atiku, I think the issue of Atiku has gone far beyond mere paperweight. Atiku is just, his own problem is not, apart from being paperweight, of course, the cause of being the paperweight, the reason why he is the paperweight, he became, or he is now, is still the paperweight, is because he does not have good political instinct. He does not have good political insight. He is too dull and dumb politically. That man, I've never seen. I don't think. Do you have an idea? You have anyone in mind that can be compared to Atiku, who have actually wasted a political fortune, threw it to the dustbin, just like Atiku? Atiku had the brightest political future prior to the end of his tenure with Obasanjo. He had the brightest. No politician in Nigeria had the kind of bright political future as Atiku. Yet this man just squandered it with his very extremely poor political instinct, extremely poor foresight, and I don't even know. Obviously, he surrounded himself. It's obvious because when somebody is failing, a man that have achieved success in certain areas of life, as a result, have so many people around you because success attracts a whole crowd around you. You're including people who love you and people who are pretentious about you. People who will give you the right advice, and people will give you the wrong advice. I don't understand it because they say, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. This whole Atiku's political failure, real total failure, actually portrays or connotes that he is just he connotes the kind of person, the kind of personality he is, the kind of people that he keeps around, that he flocks around with. That is just reality, because you cannot tell me that if Atiku, no matter how prideful he is, no matter how full of himself he is, no matter how much he thinks, how highly he thinks of himself, if he had good, intelligent people around him with good political foresight, good instincts, and they have been advising, it's not possible. If they had people like that around him, obviously their advices could have prevailed on him. So what it means is that Atiku, as successful in, I don't even know which area of success. Anyway, we'll come back to that, because I don't even see even the success we're talking about. Probably even in business, he bought some. I don't know. I don't think that there is any business that Atiku personally himself is the one managing. I don't think so, because Atiku, person like that, anybody that succeeds in business will succeed in politics, because it's all about instincts. It's all about being smart, some common sense on knowing when to make a decisive decision and take decisive steps, when to withdraw and when to pull back or withdraw, or when to step forward. So if you are a successful businessman, there is a very, very broad possibility that you will be a successful politician if you have good advisors, political advisors around you. So I honestly, what this portrays is that Atiku is not only a political dollant, and I don't believe, if you're a political dollant, you should be dollant generally. That's the way I see it. I see that man as the worst Nigerian politician, because based on using the ratio of political future brightness that he had then, he is the worst politician in Nigeria that one can ever think about. Because anytime I see PDP, the failure and the collapse of PDP, it reminds me of Atiku, the failure of Atiku. Because I remember, of course, mentioning PDP those days, it was synonymous to mentioning Atiku those days was synonymous to mentioning PDP. That is just the reality. The moment you mention Atiku, you are talking about PDP. But what happened? This man has just squandered his political fortune completely, because he first started from frolicking from one party, jumping, just being very, very impatient by frolicking from one party to the other, decamping here and there, very inconsistent. and never tenacious in any form or shape, because anytime he lost, he would just withdraw and go back and start enjoying himself and forget. He never. I don't understand how he even inherited that PDM, the old PDM, because building political structure has to do with the grassroots, with the foundation. So you cannot fail an election. You cannot fail an election and just instead of you retreat and do a self-search of yourself to find out how you failed and why you failed, so that when you bounce back better and stronger. But in his own case, he doesn't do that. He never did that. He just retreats and go enjoy himself, forgets about what happened, forgets about taking stock or reviewing what happened, instead decides to come back after 4 years to not even to repeat the same mistake that he made previously. How dull can someone be to actually classify such person a political dollar, a perpetual political dollar? Barrister.
I agree with you 100%. First of all, Atiku threw away or squandered his political birthright when he started the trouble with Obasanjo. It was almost like his birthright to be the next president.
Yeah.
He threw it away. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that he has bad political insights. And possibly this is the result of surrounding himself with people that cannot
that is it.
Improve his political insight. Besides Bola Tinubu, Atiku is a political Lilliputian. He's just a small person in terms of organization, in terms of patience, in terms of the foresight. Tinubu has done that. He has patiently built over the years across the country. He has built. And Atiku, what has he been doing? Nothing. The very fact that in a PDP, where he was the vice, an elected governor first, then the vice president for 8 years, for him today to leave the PDP, go to another party, and is unable to live with a single governor,
honestly,
is a shame of the highest category. And it shows his lack of foresight, his lack of political insight. When you talk about success in business, as opposed to foreign countries, maybe US and others, in Nigeria, your success in business does not depend on your brilliance. It depends on cornering the government agent. I mean, you use the government machinery to give you business on a platter of gold.
Yeah, you're right.
When his entire company and this thing were giving government contracts overlooking government, big multi-billion-dollar government projects, it's not because of brilliance. It's because of political connection. So we cannot use that as a yardstick to define him and boast that he has been brilliant in business. He has succeeded, but it's not because of his brilliance. So let's make that point clear. Politically, I am in 100% agreement with you that he is not a political giant. He may have attained the post of vice president because he was picked by an Obasanjo. Regrettably, even Obasanjo has regretted it repeatedly. So I do not know, and we have not seen where he has attained that political stature by his calculation and by his insight. He is a disappointment politically.
Honestly, that man will go down.
He has squandered all his political chances. As of today, he stands no chance. Age is not on his side. The political equation is not on his side. Nothing political is on his side. It's not even, it's doubtful. He has always delivered Adamawa State, his home state. This 2027 is doubtful if he will be able to deliver that state. If the governor of Adamawa today is at loggerheads with him, it's difficult to project that he will deliver them all in 2027.